Hello, my name is Jacob. I'm 23 years old. I'm from a very small town near Sacramento, California. There's almost more cows than people there, and it often smells more like the cows than the people. And I'm a pianist. People ask me who I am in different contexts. If they ask me who I'm at work, I'll say I'm Jacob. I'm a healthcare provider. Or if I'm at church or something, I would say oh, I just got back from my mission. I'm a return missionary, or I'm like the secretary of whatever. But like 99% of the time, if somebody asks me who I am, I'm gonna think I am a pianist, because that's what I love to do the most. But it wasn't always that way though. I started playing the piano pretty late, and I blame my parents for that. Thank you. I started when I was about 13 years old. However, that wasn't my first exposure to the piano. When I was probably like 3 or 4, my older siblings started taking lessons. And they were playing, chopsticks and some really like simple hymns and stuff on the piano. I was too young to be taking lessons, my parents thought. But I wanted to play the piano more because they were doing it, and not so much because I liked the piano. Eventually we moved, and the piano ended up in the garage. I was probably like 11 or 12 at the time, but I kind of had this tune stuck in my head. That Charlie Brown tune? I think it's called Linus and Lucy or something like that. I really liked that tune. We had it on a CD, and I'd listen to it over and over again. So I went out to the garage and I started to try to hash it out, Obviously I didn't get very far because I didn't know anything about the piano. But I was interested and I was out there doing it. So eventually I went online and found one of those easy sheet music learning tools. And I saw that it was FACE on all the not the lines, the blank spaces. And I was like, oh, it's pretty simple. So I went back to the Linus and Lucy, and then I was like, okay, FACE. Wait a second, there's 2 parts here. And I was like, oh shoot, I haven't even been doing my left hand. I have 2 hands. And so it was just But anyways, a month later or so, I probably had the first line down. And then my parents saw me doing this, and they said, geez, you actually want to learn to play the piano. So we all went out there, and we wheeled the piano back into the living room, which was a mistake because I would end up playing it 4 hours a day, and then nobody could get any peace and quiet. Eventually, the piano ended up in my room, which was the very back of the house with the door closed. We almost put pads on the walls so it wouldn't reverberate so much. Anyways, yeah, from there it was just like snowball. I played the piano for probably 4 or 5 hours a day, basically every day, all through middle school and high school. It was my go-to. It was the first thing I did and the last thing I did every day. And it was like a therapy for me, I felt like I always had some way not just to entertain myself, but to kind of collect myself, It wasn't just about practicing or getting better. It was about doing something that was important to me, something to express myself. One day, my mom and I went to a piano store to look at, the really high-end pianos that I would never be able to afford. And I spent probably an hour and a half there just playing on all the pianos, and my mom wanting to leave because to her they all sounded the same, but to me it was just being in Charlie's or Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, And then after we left, I turned to my mom and I was like, what's your piano room? What is your place or your state of mind or your person that you can go to and just feel like you're in the chocolate factory, You're totally collecting yourself, and you just feel like, this is all you could ever want for the whole day. And as I've grown up, I've kind of considered what's my piano room, literally that piano room was the place I wanted to be, but where's the place that I feel like I've collected myself? So, ask yourself that. What is your piano room?